So for me, I'm just preparing myself, and I have the best as I possibly can. And now when I step in that ring, I know myself will be 100%. So we just have to see when he's in there how he is. But I definitely don't think it's something I haven't seen. Well, I think I could do a lot of talking and say, you know, oh, I'm prepared the best I can. You could just look at me and just kind of see the shape I'm in and how I look, and kind of have your own opinion on it. I think that speaks enough. As you know,
and that's a risk I'm willing to run. You know, I believe I will have achieved more, will be more experienced, and it's my job to go in there and prove that I am at that level, which I will do without a shadow of a doubt in my mind.
You don't think I'm gonna hit you with that left hook?
No.
Many fighters like you. I thought that was strong. Yeah, you go for it. You go for it. You go for it. You're the one that started that.
You go for it.
Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn faced off at a fiery press conference before their eagerly awaited showdown, trading bold remarks and fierce looks that fueled the growing tension, capturing huge interest from boxing fans around the world through social media and widespread media coverage.
He's terrified. He has PTSD.
The bout will mark Ryan Garcia's first defense of the DBC welterweight title, adding even greater importance to a matchup as the rivalry between both fighters keeps growing more intense. Garcia claimed the championship earlier this year and quickly established himself as one of boxing's biggest stars. Meanwhile, Conor Benn earned his mandatory challenger position following a series of major performances. The tension between them has continued to rise for months, with both fighters trading sharp verbal shots in interviews, press events, and across social media. For Garcia, this fight is a chance to validate his reign as champion and show he can thrive under the pressure that comes with holding a title. For Benn, it stands as the most important fight of his career and an opportunity to win his first world championship. Their opposite fighting styles, outspoken attitudes, and clear animosity toward each other have generated huge excitement among boxing fans.
I'm told that September, the Mexican holiday in September, around about the 12th of September, Las Vegas, the destination, as Ryan Garcia of Mexican heritage will be defending his WBC welterweight championship. And he was on the Jimmy Fallon show this week, which is massive over in the States. He made a big announcement because he says that he's going to be fighting a certain fella from the United Kingdom in the shape of Conor Benn. What did you make of all that? And if just for a little bit of context on that, Conor Benn hasn't fought at 147 pounds flat for the last 4 years. His last fight was 150-pound catchweight against Regis Prograis. He hasn't hit 147 for 4 years. Still highly ranked with the WBC at 147, and now gets an opportunity, it seems, in September to be fighting for a world champion.
Ryan Garcia has openly stated that he expects a commanding win over Conor Benn when they eventually step into the ring. Speaking with strong confidence about the matchup, Garcia predicted that Benn will not make it to the final bell, boldly saying his opponent will be knocked out in the 6th or 7th round. The WBC welterweight champion believes his speed, sharp timing, and devastating left hook will be too much for Benn to withstand throughout the contest. Garcia made these remarks following Benn's win over Regis Prograis, a performance many boxing fans and analysts considered less than impressive. Since then, Garcia has continued to insist that he operates on a completely different level than the British contender. The American star views this fight as the perfect chance to make a statement in his first world title defense and silence any remaining critics.
You know me, I can't play soccer, brother. You're about to see right now.
Well, look, get them all.
I'll try my best, though. I can't get them all, bro.
Hey, what round is Conor Benn going to sleep?
Oh, he's going to go to sleep in rounds 6 or 7.
Are you excited?
Of course, man. We're going to beat this. You know that.
He called you out again today.
Oh, it's insane. He act like I actually have a contract. Brother, I don't have a contract, you know?
How you been, Ryan? Good?
I've
You
been
look
good,
good?
yeah,
You look like
yeah.
you've been training?
I've been training hard. Once you're a champion, you got to stay a champion.
Eddie Hearn believes a clash between Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn would become a huge spectacle, especially in the United Kingdom. According to Hearn, Garcia's popularity reaches well beyond the United States, and he has built a loyal following among British boxing fans. Hearn explained that while Benn is already a major draw in the UK, Garcia's star status, massive social media presence, and worldwide recognition could turn the fight into one of the biggest boxing events of the year. He even claimed Garcia is a bigger star in the UK than Benn is in America, emphasizing the champion's broad appeal. Hearn expects the matchup to attract major attention from fans, media, and broadcasters on both sides of the Atlantic. Although he has raised concerns about whether Benn performs at his best at the 147-pound limit, he still sees the bout as an exciting and highly sellable contest. With two outspoken fighters and real tension between them, Hearn believes the event could generate enormous buzz across Britain.
You know, in terms of that fight, I think it's a good fight. You know, I don't think it's a big fight in America. I think it's a big fight in the UK. Obviously, Ryan's a big star in America, Conor's not. Ryan's a bigger star in the UK than Conor is in America, and Conor's a big star in the UK. So, yeah, I don't think it's a fight that's going to do massive numbers, but I like the fight. I think it's exciting. I think at 147, Ryan's a big fight. I don't think Conor should be fighting at 147. I think, you know, I like him up at 160 or up towards that weight class, but I don't see a way he beats Ryan Garcia at 140.
A matchup between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney is widely seen as the biggest fight currently available in the US boxing market. This view is driven by their history, intense rivalry, and proven ability to deliver excitement. The two fighters previously shared a dramatic contest where Haney controlled much of the action with his boxing skills, while Garcia's power produced knockdowns that kept the fight competitive and unforgettable. That contrast between technical precision and explosive power creates a compelling stylistic battle that fans can easily appreciate and look forward to. When combined with their ongoing bad blood and championship stakes, a rematch carries both strong sporting credibility and massive commercial value.
Don't understand anyone that thinks that Conor Benn's a bigger fight than Devin Haney. In the US, it's definitely not a bigger fight. Like Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney is huge in the US. Why? Because we know what's going to happen during it. We know what the press tour is going to look like with these guys hating the hell out of each other. And we saw 12 rounds of them, where you're right. Devin Haney, in the rounds he didn't get hurt or knocked down, won those rounds. The problem was Ryan Garcia hurt him a lot, knocked him down 3 times, beat him up in that fight. His face was all messed up at the end of that fight.
And it was one of the fights of the year as well, man.
Great fight. This is what I'm saying. It was a great fight. You don't need to tell people that Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney could be a great fight. We know it is because we saw it the first time.
Conor Benn's recent performance has prompted some critics to question his current position in the welterweight division. Many observers labeled the display as underwhelming and saw it as a possible warning sign ahead of higher-level bouts. Concerns have also been raised about Benn's status as the WBC's leading ranked contender, with some arguing that his placement is hard to justify due to his limited activity at 147 pounds in recent years. Analysts who once felt his aggression, punching power, and explosiveness could trouble top opponents have begun to rethink that view after his latest outing. As a result, confidence in his ability to compete with the division's elite has started to decline. Skeptics now suggest fighters such as Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson would go into potential matchups as clear favorites thanks to their greater experience, sharper technique, and proven success at the highest level. While Benn remains a dangerous and commercially appealing contender, many believe he still has considerable ground to cover before fully establishing himself among boxing's elite welterweights.
Conor Benn, for whatever reasons, is the #1 ranked challenger to Ryan Garcia's WBC title. All right, let's not litigate that right now. The WBC does incredibly crazy things with their rankings. I agree with you there. Before this fight, I talked to a lot of smart people in boxing that thought Conor Benn would beat Ryan Garcia, that thought Conor Benn's explosiveness would be too much for Ryan Garcia, who often leaves himself kind of in a tough defensive position when he steps back, he drops his guard, the chin hangs up in the air. After this fight, Sergio, I don't know how you can look at a Garcia-Conor Benn matchup and say that Ryan is the underdog. Ryan, who was on social media saying, bring that guy to me afterwards, has to be feeling confident if that's the fight that gets made at some point before the end of this year. All the welterweights out there were saying the exact same thing. Devin Haney is on social media. Shakur Stevenson, who is not a big puncher at 140 pounds, said he would be disappointed in.
Many observers have raised concerns about Conor Benn's ability to compete at the elite level against Ryan Garcia, mainly due to his inconsistent activity at the 147-pound welterweight limit over recent years. Since 2022, Benn has competed in fights above the division, including middleweight bouts and catchweight contests. which means he has had to make a significant adjustment heading into this championship clash. Analysts question whether such a demanding weight cut could have an impact on his stamina, punching power, and overall performance on fight night. Benn recently returned closer to welterweight in his win over Regis Prograis and has insisted that making 147 pounds is not an issue. Despite that, doubts still persist among sections of boxing observers. Critics argue that stepping in against a naturally fast and explosive champion like Garcia after spending extended time at higher weights presents a difficult challenge. Even so, Benn and his camp remain confident that his discipline, conditioning, and experience will allow him to return successfully to the division and compete at the highest level for the WBC welterweight title.
June 2nd, Spence. Listen to Paulie Malignaggi had some things to say about the fight and Conor Benn. Listen to him.
Paulie, did you catch the Conor Benn fight? Did you catch the co-main event?
I did. You know what, guys? I'm done. I'm done with it. This guy's horrible. This guy's terrible. I don't mind watching Conor Benn. Like I don't mind him getting the fanfare. He's an okay fighter. Just don't start mentioning him at world-class level. Then you start going, we start crossing the line. Because he's not your Jake Paul either. So it's not like I'm throwing him all the way on the other side. I'm not doing that. I'm being a very honest person here. He's an okay fighter. Okay, but just don't start mentioning him with these world-class situations and world-class fighters. He talks about Shakur Stevenson and all this other stuff. This name belongs nowhere near those guys, okay? For the fanfare, okay, I get it. People start talking about him. He's got a lot of popularity, and I understand that's going to happen. But don't start mentioning him boxing-wise with these guys. All of a sudden, right away, we start seeing tweets and Instagrams about this Shakur Stevenson fight and everybody. Shakur Stevenson would beat him with one hand. I would beat him.
Some boxing experts feel that the spotlight being placed on Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn is excessive, arguing that a rematch between Garcia and Devin Haney would be a far bigger and more significant event. Their first encounter was one of the most discussed fights in recent boxing memory, filled with rivalry, dramatic exchanges, and controversy. Since that bout, both fighters have gone on to become welterweight champions, which makes a second meeting even more meaningful. The rematch would not only feature two title holders, but also serve as a chance to settle unfinished business between rivals with a long-standing competitive history. Analysts say the matchup includes all the ingredients fans look for: elite skill, championship stakes, contrasting fighting styles, and a personal grudge that adds real intensity. From a commercial standpoint, both athletes carry strong global appeal and large fan bases, making the fight highly attractive for promotion and broadcasting.
As I'm looking at these photos, I'm just thinking to myself, why are we talking about Ryan Garcia against Conor Benn? Why aren't we talking more about Ryan Garcia against Devin Haney? This was the fight that so many people wanted to make less than a year ago. When these two guys were in New York City, getting ready to fight in that Times Square card, all they both had to do was win their fights. Devin looked, mediocre against Jose Ramirez. Ryan went out and lost to Rolly Romero. That fight went away. A year later, both these guys are in much different places. Devin Haney came off that win against Brian Norman. He is a welterweight champion. Ryan Garcia beats Mario Barrios. He is a welterweight champion. This is the fight we should be talking about. Like, no disrespect to Conor Benn, who has a big name, big punch, can sell a fight. This is the best, I'm going to say the best. It's the best fight you can make in the welterweight division right now. Two champions, two guys that hate each other, two guys with big names. Why is this fight not front burner for both of these guys? Why is Ryan Garcia talking about taking this fight against Conor?
Henry Garcia has criticized Conor Benn for signing with Zuffa Boxing, arguing that joining a new and improved promotional system could harm a fighter's career path. He believes that established boxing networks offer better access to top-level opponents, stable rankings, and genuine world title opportunities. In contrast, he suggests that startup platforms can come with uncertainty, restrictive matchmaking, and limited structure, which may prevent fighters from securing bouts against elite, established names. He also implies that long-term contracts within such systems could reduce a boxer's flexibility, making it harder to change promoters or chase major fights. While he acknowledges that there may be strong financial incentives involved, he warns that money alone should not outweigh long-term career development. In his view, a fighter risks becoming disconnected from mainstream boxing competition, which could slow progress, reduce visibility, and ultimately limit legacy-building opportunities in the sport overall.
curious what your thoughts were on Conor Benn signing with Zuffa.
Well, you know, that organization just started, and if I were a boxer that's already been established, you don't want to test something out that hasn't been perfected yet. You know what I mean? Zuffa hasn't been perfected yet. So you're going to ruin your career. And now that you signed, you can't fight people like us. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're right.
You can't fight.
It takes time.
It takes time. And it's if you think there's politics now, it's more politics.
But Henry, if they offer you $20 million, you're taking the fight.
Well, you know what? Again, it's up to the managers, but I'm telling you, I don't think Dana White will give away $20 million. I don't think
maybe
so.
For Ryan. Ryan's a superstar.
Well, that's true, maybe. But anyways, you don't go on the other side unless it's been tested, and I don't think Zuffa has been tested already.
Especially because there's already been conversations where Conor has wanted to fight.
Well, that's why.
Ryan.
Why would he sign? Why would he sign then? You had Ryan right there, and then he's another hater. See, there you go. And I'm glad that we proved him wrong. Another hater. That my son can't go over 6 rounds or whatever. I can't stand people like that. You know, and this is true satisfaction.
Regis Prograis has added extra fuel to the ongoing debate surrounding Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn, suggesting that Garcia could potentially be beaten in the matchup. Prograis praised Benn's physical strength and highlighted that his punching power is often underestimated, warning that overlooking him could be a serious error. He noted that Benn's aggression, constant pressure, and ability to rapidly close distance make him a dangerous opponent for anyone at welterweight, including elite-level fighters like Garcia. While he did not dismiss Garcia's skill set or his status as champion, he implied that Benn's toughness and power could cause major issues if the fight turns into a close-range battle. Prograis' remarks have sparked further discussion among fans, especially since he has shared the ring with Benn and experienced his style directly. Meanwhile, Benn has continued to show strong confidence ahead of the clash, repeatedly insisting that Garcia cannot match his level inside the ring. He has publicly called out the American champion, stating that he is fully prepared to capture the WBC welterweight title and will not be affected by Garcia's reputation or recent success. Benn maintains that his pressure, aggression, and physical strength will be too overwhelming for Garcia to handle over 12 rounds.
Monday morning, 10K for breakfast. Any day of the week. Discipline, unmatched. Work ethic, unmatched. You can't outwork me. Shout out to Regis, great opponent. Back-to-back stadium shows. I want that WBC world title next. Let these eyes heat up in the head clashes. And then we're good to go. I've been ready to go July, August. I want to be active. Yeah, boy. More motivated now than ever. First fight back at 147, 150. I'm ready to drop back down to 147 and get that world title. Get what belongs to me. Keep that belt warm, Garcia. I'm coming through.
Experts have raised serious doubts about Conor Benn's ability to perform at the highest level of the welterweight division. They argue that Benn could find it difficult against top-tier opponents who combine elite technical ability, hand speed, and ring intelligence, rather than relying mainly on physical strength and aggression. His recent outings are often cited as supporting evidence for this concern, suggesting that he has not consistently delivered the level of dominance expected from an elite contender. Within this context, a fight against Ryan Garcia is viewed by some more as a major commercial opportunity than a purely competitive sporting matchup. It would provide Benn with a significant payday, worldwide exposure, and a high-profile platform. However, it also comes with considerable risk. If he is not fully prepared for elite-level opposition, moving into that Tier 2 early could lead to a defeat that halts his momentum and negatively affects his long-term career development.
Understand why Zuffa Boxing, Keith Connolly, Conor Benn are pushing for the Ryan Garcia fight. It is lucrative. It is a world title. But I think they also know, at least the people around Conor Benn, that if the Ryan Garcia fight doesn't happen and they put Conor Benn in with somebody else who doesn't bring the same cachet to the ring, Conor Benn could lose. Like what Conor Benn showed me against Regis Prograis is that these lower weight classes, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. 150 pounds.
Conor Benn is facing increased scrutiny as he prepares to return to the welterweight division after competing at 60 pounds in recent fights. Critics and analysts argue that moving back down to 147 after several years away could negatively impact his stamina, punch resistance, and overall performance, with some drawing comparisons to fighters who were never the same after fluctuating between weight classes. The concern is that Benn's body may have naturally adapted to a higher weight, making the transition more difficult against elite-level opposition. Although Benn maintains that he is disciplined and fully confident in making the weight, questions remain about whether he can still operate at his peak in a division he has not consistently competed in for nearly 4 years. Former boxer and analyst Spencer Oliver has backed Ryan Garcia to defeat Benn in a potential welterweight clash, adding further weight to the ongoing debate. Oliver believes Garcia's speed, precision, and elite-level boxing ability give him a clear advantage, particularly at 147 pounds, where the American champion has looked dominant. He suggested that Garcia is currently performing at a higher technical level and has the tools to break Benn down over the course of the fight. While acknowledging Benn's power, aggression, and determination, Oliver feels those attributes may not be enough against a fighter of Garcia's class and experience at the top level. His prediction aligns with other pundits who view Garcia as the favorite based on recent performances and championship status. However, Oliver also noted that Benn's style always carries danger, meaning the matchup would still be highly competitive and explosive.
Years that Conor Benn has made welterweight, so he's been boxing obviously up with Chris Eubank Jr. is at 160 pounds, and then he come down to 150 pounds in his last fight. Maybe, you know, some people say they're lacking a little bit of strength. The punch power sort of left him down at 147 is going to be a totally different task as well. It's a tough night for Conor Benn, but he gets that opportunity for the WBC.
Do you give him a chance
title
against Garcia?
You got to give him a chance. You have to give him a chance, but it's probably quite a slim one. Yeah, but listen, it's about opportunity, and we don't know. Conor Benn's been craving for this world title fight. He's been calling it out for a long time. The thing that concerns me, Paul, is when you go up to 160 pounds, the super middleweight division, and then you're coming back down to welterweight, you're the division that you used to compete in, but you haven't been there for 4 years. You haven't made that weight for 4 years. I think your body adjusts and and acclimatizes to a certain weight division. And I think it's hard when you come back down. We saw Roy Jones going up to heavyweight and going back down to super middle, and he was never the same. And I think for Conor Benn, it may just lost a bit of that punch power and maybe even a bit of punch resistance at 147. That's why I lean towards Ryan Garcia, whose natural weight is.
Both fighters have spent significant periods away from the ring due to separate controversies, including failed drug tests that have cast a shadow over their recent careers. Conor Benn's suspension following a doping case and Ryan Garcia's own failed test, which resulted in his bout with Devin Haney being declared a no contest, are often cited as major reasons why neither man has enjoyed a clean or uninterrupted career progression. This shared background has led some observers to question whether the matchup is being driven more by marketability and social media appeal than by pure sporting merit. When comparing resumes, many analysts give Garcia a clear edge, viewing him as the more naturally gifted technician with a stronger amateur foundation and more experience against high-level opposition, including established contenders and champions across multiple divisions. His record against elite competition is considered significantly deeper than Benn's, whose professional resume is criticized for lacking proven victories at true world-class level and for having his momentum disrupted at key stages. However, the discussion becomes more nuanced when Garcia's mentality is considered. Despite his technical advantages, concerns are often raised about his psychological resilience under pressure. Past performances are referenced in which Garcia appeared to struggle after setbacks, including moments where he was dropped or seemed to lose rhythm when fights became difficult. In contrast, Benn is viewed as a tough, aggressive fighter who can become dangerous in a close-range, physical battle, particularly if Garcia's confidence wavers. Many experts believe Garcia's speed, timing, and skill would control the early rounds, while Benn's best path lies in surviving the initial storm and dragging the contest into later, more punishing exchanges where momentum could shift.
A question mark as to whether he will be able to make the weight and look effective. I mean, the fight is still some way off. A lot of fighters these days, I'm sure Conor Benn will do the same. He will employ nutritionist and people like that. So we'll have to see on how he gets on with the weight. But yeah, I would heavily favour Ryan Garcia at this stage.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, Freudian slip. What about you?
Yeah, I would definitely say that, in my opinion, Ryan Garcia is going to put a beating on Conor Benn. I think that's what's going to take place. I just don't see a potentiality in which Conor Benn can equal up the playing field with the dogfight. I just can't see it happening. I think that Ryan Garcia...
No, but we have seen fights in the past where fighters who are not as skilled as another fighter, they just tough it out.
I know, but I just can't. Like, Ryan Garcia's got such great, like, for all of his sins, he is speedy, he is versatile, and he's got good technique, you know?
Do you think he's got a good gas tank, though? Because that's not really been tested, has it?
No.
Early in the fight, Ryan Garcia would likely have the advantage with his speed, timing, and ability to control distance, allowing him to box cleanly and build momentum in the opening rounds. However, as the fight progresses, Conor Benn's best chance would be to increase pressure, close the distance, and turn it into a physical, close-range battle where Garcia is forced to work harder and trade more. If Benn succeeds in dragging Garcia into that kind of fight, the momentum could shift in the later rounds, but if Garcia maintains his rhythm and avoids sustained exchanges, he is more likely to stay in control and secure a decision or possibly a late stoppage.